ค่ะ very good evening and welcome to Thai PBS World Tonight.
Good evening and TGIF. Hope you have had a productive week. Kicking off the program with the latest development in the monkeypox outbreak. There's no detection of the disease in Thailand yet. But as a precaution, the government of Thailand has asked the World Health Organization or WHO for support in providing smallpox vaccine now that the country has eased travel restrictions for overseas arrivals from many countries. So the request for smallpox vaccine was conveyed by Public Health Minister Anutin Chandrasekul to the WHO director during a courtesy call on the new director on Wednesday in Geneva. Anutin was in Geneva to attend the 75th World Health Assembly. Well, just to give you an idea, Thailand has no reserves of smallpox vaccine because the virus was eradicated from the globe several decades ago. So during this informal meeting, Anutin also invited the WHO director to attend the official opening of the ASEAN Center for Public Health Emergencies and Emerging Diseases, scheduled to take place in Bangkok in August. So the minister told the media then that a technical committee of the Thai National Communicable Disease Committee has classified monkeypox as a communicable disease under WASH, although no cases have been detected yet. And he also said measures have been put in place to screen overseas arrivals from countries, especially countries where monkeypox has been detected. And meanwhile, Department of Disease Control, which is part of the ministry, has dismissed a report that monkeypox has been detected on Chang Island of Drat Province as fake news, as has appealed to the public not to panic. However, the department added that several people on the island have been found to be infected with monkey malaria, which can be transmitted from primates to humans through the bite of the striped mosquito. So, of course, as we mentioned before, this is something that we have to be really, vigilant because of what we learned from COVID-19. Of course, it hasn't been at the level of COVID. It's not yet a pandemic. But of course, with the ongoing spread of the disease, we can only be, just safe rather than sorry.
Right, so it is nice to see that they have been stepping up the measures as well as asking for more vaccines so that in case there is spreading in
Exactly.
countries that is close to Thailand, we still have some sort of protection. And now let's move on to politics and crime. The criminal court has sentenced a man to 5 years without suspension for sending a message on Twitter urging people to sexually harass the twin daughters of Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha. So the police tracked the message to its sender, who was summoned by the police to hear computer crime and criminal charges against him in March 2021. However, the man claimed that he did not have a Twitter account and that someone has hacked into his Facebook and attached his picture to the threatening message on Twitter. But the police claim that his Facebook account has not been hacked and that he did actually send the offending Twitter message. And the court initially sentenced him to 7.5 years, but reduced the term to 5 years due to his confession and otherwise a clean record. So this is actually a good lesson for many people. Just because you don't like a certain politician doesn't necessarily mean you have to send a message to threat someone to get sexually harassed as well.
Exactly. Well, that's, sad, basically, because, of course, in politics, it's good, it is healthy to be able to discuss, even debate. You can even argue, different points of views, but to wish harm on someone totally, of course, also innocent, that's actually really crossing the line, and of course, a crime to try to incite that violence as well.
It doesn't have to be a politician. It could be just ordinary people to cause them harm or to post threatening messages, whether it's sexual harassment or assault, it should never be done on social media
Exactly.
or even in the offline world.
Exactly. And moving on now to a controversy surrounding a luxury club at the parliament that we have reported earlier. So House Speaker Shun Pai has ordered all the recreational facilities in the controversial club to be closed, except for the gym, and converted into the working space for parliamentary officials. So this order basically from the House Speaker came after the backlash about the appropriateness of such lavish spending of taxpayers' money. And Democrat Party list MP Isara Seri Watana would explain that the facilities, which include a karaoke bar, a golf practice range, a dance practice room, a spa, and a traditional and foot massage room, were in the original design of the Parliament building back in 2011, and a contract for the construction was signed 2 years later. So this was before Chun became the House Speaker. So the Democrat MP Isara also admitted that he had no idea why such luxurious facilities were needed in Parliament, as he suggested that those interested in the reason should question those who were in power at that time. The club, of course, has attracted criticism from the allegedly lavish spending of the taxpayers' money with a hashtag trending on social media the following day after some senators took some reporters on a tour of the club. And even move forward MP for Pisanulog Patipat Sundipada petitioned House Speaker Sean asking for a review of this project as well. However, the club is not yet formally open for use. Isra said that Sean pointed out that Parliament is located on state land, which is governed by laws regarding this kind of immovable state property, and that the law clearly specifies that such land can only be used for official purposes. Well, it's good to know at least that it's not yet used, and probably some people might be happy to know that it probably hope that it will stay that way, that the facilities will be used for something rather than for leisure, but for work, because for the MPs, for all the senators to even be working and get paid is all taxpayers' money, and the facility is supposed to actually benefit more for the people.
Right, and we'll end the program with a lighter story. A 15-year-old Thai student has created a QR code system to help the elderly people suffering from Alzheimer's disease or even other age-related memory loss in case they get lost. So according to the Facebook page of the Mirror Foundation, this system will help their family locate their elder relative if they go missing from home. The boy admitted that as a child, he would occasionally get separated from his parents and went to an adult to seek help. Luckily, he said his parents had put a name tag with phone numbers in his pockets, which enabled them to contact his parents quickly. He told the Mirror Foundation that every time he sees an announcement about a missing person, he feels saddened, and he thought that this problem should be addressed. When he saw a wristband issued by the foundation to elderly people who have memory problems, he had the idea of extending the use of the wristband and consulted his parents. So he came up with this QR code design, which can be used by the Mirror Foundation for attachment to the outer clothing of the elderly people, in addition to the wristband itself. Well, I think it's a very good idea, because with the missing people, we hear these stories every single time, but it seems like not much has been done. So it is a great idea that they decided to come up with this QR code system to help a family locate their missing elders. And if we go back let's say around like 10 to 20 years ago, that sort of technology does not exist yet. So For example, if we travel abroad with your child, you would always have some sort of name tag listing the name and the contact details of the parent. But this one is much more advanced where nowadays we use a smartphone, we can just scan this QR code and then contact the parent or other people straight
Right.
away for help.
And this is actually quite a serious problem, Nat. Well, if you remember, maybe probably a few years ago, there was this case of an elderly woman suffering from Alzheimer's as well. And she just gone missing from the north of Thailand. And of course, her family was really worried. And it turned out maybe a week later, that she was found in China. And actually, it
Right.
seems like she was just walking or cashing some rides. And thank God they found actually identification on her to be able to, track who she was and be able to contact her family back in Thailand. So, of course, with technology, we see new gadgets, new apps, new tools popping up every day. And this is, of course, the least we can do. And yeah, it's great. And we do hope that this would help a lot of people as well, this new technology. And kudos to the boy.
Exactly. And this QR code is not only applicable to the elderly people, you can also use it with children or the vulnerable people as well. And hopefully in the future, we can use it with pets as well.
Yeah, so definitely anyone and anything for that matter. So yeah, we do hope that this will be more prevalent and can be of more use in the future as well. Do share with us what you think in the comment section. And of course, with that, we wrap up this edition of Thai PBS World Tonight. So you can catch us like this every weekday at 7 p.m. right here on YouTube and Facebook Live.
And don't forget to follow us on social media, including our website, thaipbsworld.com, for all the latest updates as well as analyses. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. สวัสดีค่ะ
Sawadee ka. Have a good weekend.